Interesting facts about Allosaurus. Smaller than T-Rex, but faster and more vicious, Allosaurus was the all-purpose predator of the Jurassic period. And they may even have hunted its prey in packs. Allosaurus used to be known as Antrodemus. Like many early fossil discoveries, Allosaurus bounced around a bit in the classification bins after its type fossil was identified in the early 19th century. This dinosaur was initially named Antrodemus by the famous American paleontologist Joseph Leidy, and was only systematically referred to as Allosaurus starting in the mid-1970s. Allosaurus liked to lunch on Stegosaurus. Paleontologists have unearthed solid evidence that Allosaurus preyed on Stegosaurus. An Allosaurus vertebra with a puncture wound that matches the shape of a Stegosaurus tail spike or thygomizer, and a Stegosaurus neck bone bearing an Allosaurus-shaped bite mark. Allosaurus was constantly shedding and replacing its teeth. Like many predatory dinosaurs of the Mesozoic era, not to mention modern crocodiles, Allosaurus constantly grew, shed and replaced its teeth, some of which averaged 3 or 4 inches in length. Surprisingly, though, this dinosaur only had about 32 teeth, 16 apiece in its upper and lower jaws, at any given time. The typical Allosaurus lived for about 25 years. Estimating a dinosaur's lifespan is always a tricky matter, but based on the voluminous fossil evidence, paleontologists believe Allosaurus attained its full adult size by the age of 15 or so. Barring disease, starvation or thygomizer wounds inflicted by angry stegosaurs, this dinosaur may have been capable of living and hunting for another 10 or 15 years. Allosaurus comprised at least 7 separate species. The early history of Allosaurus is littered with supposedly new genera of theropod dinosaurs, such as the now discarded Creosaurus, Labrosaurus, and Epentherias, that turned out, on further examination, to be separate Allosaurus species. To date, there are 3 widely accepted species of Allosaurus. Allosaurus fragilis, designated in 1877 by the famous American paleontologist Othniel C. Marsh, Allosaurus europace, erected in 2006, and Allosaurus lucasii, erected in 2014. The most famous Allosaurus fossil is Big Al. In 1991, after a full century of Allosaurus discoveries, researchers in Wyoming unearthed an exquisitely preserved, near-complete fossil specimen, which they promptly dubbed Big Al. Unfortunately, Big Al didn't live a very happy life. Analysis of its skeleton reveals numerous fractures and bacterial infections, which doomed this 26-foot-long teenage dinosaur to a relatively early and painful death. Allosaurus was one of the instigators of the Bone Wars. In their endless zeal to one-up one another, the 19th-century paleontologists Othniel C. Marsh and Edward Drinker Cope often diagnosed new dinosaurs based on too scanty fossil evidence, leading to decades of subsequent confusion. Although Marsh had the honor of coining the name Allosaurus in the midst of the Bone Wars, both he and Cope went on to erect other, supposedly new genera of theropods that turned out to be separate Allosaurus species. There's no evidence that Allosaurus hunted in packs. Paleontologists have long speculated that the only way Allosaurus could have preyed on the huge sauropods of its day was if this dinosaur hunted in cooperative packs. It's a compelling scenario, but the fact is that even modern big cats don't team up to bring down full-grown elephants, so Allosaurus individuals probably hunted smaller prey all on their lonesome. Allosaurus was probably the same dinosaur as Saurophaganax. Saurophaganax was a 40-foot-long, 2-ton theropod that lived alongside the slightly smaller, 1-ton Allosaurus in late Jurassic North America. Pending further fossil discoveries, Paleontologists haven't yet conclusively decided whether this elusively named dinosaur deserves its own genus, or is more properly classified as a giant new Allosaurus species.